sitting here beside me. You're riding in a dream. I don't know how I got here or what I'm supposed to be. I took a high road to Lazarus. He wasn't there. They say he's walking around St. Louis playing blues, but no one cares. Well, I don't understand the prophets. I think they're writing songs. Sometimes I hear the beat all the way in Babylon. But I could tell you about forgiveness from the girl that wouldn't leave. She said, buckle up, get off your cross and get down on your knees. Oh, there's work to be done. Even if they're bringing a gun. You just hold tight all night and I'll crumble with you. And the wages of my history, they barely kept us fed. We learned everything from Jesus about raising from the dead. Back then I found salvation in every bit I can. Well, I drank myself to heaven, Lord, 'cause hell I couldn't stand. Oh, there's work to be done. Even if they're bringing a gun. You just hold tight all night and I'll crumble with you. From the girl that wouldn't leave. She said she learned everything from Jesus, how we all just gotta bleed. Oh, there's work to be done. Even if they're bringing a gun. The world just crumbles like everything do. You just hold tight all night and I'll crumble with you. You just hold tight all night and I'll crumble with you. You just hold tight all night and I'll crumble with you.
All right, here we are. I'm just going to check real quick that our audio is working. It looks like it is. And this is day 4 of the studio cabin campout. And I'm just going to I'm going to talk about today, I think, creativity, enriching creativity in your life, and how some different thoughts I've had on and ways that I've gone about creating music and art and practical ways I've found to think about it as I get older. And I'm going to read something from my book, mornings and midnights. And so, but first, for those that this is playing into the studio cabin campout portal, I call it. And so those are people that signed up for this, but it's also going live to YouTube and Facebook. So I just want to say, in case you're on there, you can watch a replay of this. There's not just a live thing, but I'm giving away the entire album, double album, 20 songs, 2 songs at a time. So it's 10 days. And then along the way, each day I'm dropping official music videos way before they go out there into the world, and special content videos that we made just for this, and live performances. And then I'm jumping on at the end of it just to say hi to people and just do a little bit more human interaction in this release. I wanted something a little special. And because this was a big project. It's a double album. And I won't go too much into it today, but so it's mornings and midnights, and then I was writing a book while I was going on, and then I started drawing. So I drew all the art. I don't know if you can see all that. And so I've got prints. This is actually my art table here where I draw. I draw them real big. You can't. I wish I would have made it where I could pull this up, but I draw here. This is my songwriting desk behind me. So we're actually in the studio cabin. And the plan was to camp out like literally today. I had a campfire out there and everything. And we were really going to do it today, but it started raining. So that'll be the theme of this event, is when are we going to get to the campfire? I've got it all ready. I don't know how the internet's going to work out here in the forest. We'll just see how things go and go with it. And so that's kind of it. If you want to jump in, there's a link down here somewhere in Facebook or YouTube in the description where you could jump in and you'll get replays. And at any time, I'm just going to set this up where you can come back through it, and everybody that's in it can always go back and look at the music videos, because I'm not really going to release this on streaming for quite a while. So I've made it where when you get them each day, it's in a streaming app called Samply. And I just want to mention that real quick in case you're new to this app. You can, when you get that link from me, songs, which today was Crumble, the song we started with, and the other one, Wandering. And so I'm adding 2 a day to a folder. And what you do is you're going to click on that, and it goes to a page on your website or your phone. And you can either just download them right there if you want to just organize them yourself, or you can download that app Samply. And every time I add 2 new songs, it'll keep taking you to your own folder on your phone. And that way you can stream it like it's Spotify. And I do have a first single coming out on September 19th. And then I'm going to kind of just slow release this. I like to do that. It gives me the time I need to dedicate to each song and work on videos and, give it a nice entry into the world. So that's enough of that. But thank you so much for being here. I've really enjoyed this. I've never done anything like this, so I was a little scared. I was worried today too, because we're out here, and it took a lot of my desk to get all the stuff on here to do this. And it looks like the internet's holding, so fingers crossed. So today I thought I would talk about. There's a song that I gave you today called "Wandering," and I'll play it at the end of this live broadcast. That deals a lot with just kind of, my place in life right now. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how old I am, because that would give away my wife's age, and I can't do that. She doesn't allow that. But let's just say I'm getting a little bit older in life, and music and creativity, it means something different to me than it did when I was young. And it's not really by choice. It's just happening, kind of your role in the world just changes as you get older and you mature. And I found that in my later, in the last decade or so, I really had to change the way I was looking at music and even my creativity, my art, my writing. I had to look at it really different than I looked at it when I was younger. And, I don't want to dog on my old young self, but, I'm sure, I was kind of when I was younger, I was kind of a rebel towards making things that sounded like they were in the, commercial realm. But at the same time, I'm a human being and I cared a lot what people thought. And I could get really wounded if things didn't go well. If I made an album or put out a song and it just didn't go well, it would like hurt. It really hurt. And of course, I come from an age where the internet was just coming in. There wasn't even downloadable songs. I don't even think we had what was it, LimeWire or something. That wasn't even going on when I put out my first albums. We were working in the real world, and the real world. This is the real world, but we were working with real material, CDs and stuff like that, radio, and this kind of these thoughts I have on creativity. I just want to just say, just so I don't sound like a pompous artist, I'm not coming at it like, hey, be successful like me. Here's how I did it, and this is how I deal with creativity. My success is I feel very successful in my life, but just because of my life, it feels successful. My music career, I wouldn't call that successful. I've had some brief times in my life where I got to have a little bit of a music career. I got like an LA deal back when LA deals were a thing, and Showcase South by Southwest back when that was a thing, and had a exclusive deal in Japan. So I've had some bigger things, but by no means has my career been what I had hoped when I was young. It's really just been a fight to just keep making music in a way that's not just in my hobby room, in a way where I'm really grappling with pushing myself to the next limit. That's what I enjoy in creativity. It's always like trying to take it a step further. And as I got older, here's the deal, is that, and this is, I think, a natural thing, is that when you're younger, you're like on the wave. When something comes out, you're like picking up, you have little tentacles picking up what's going on in the culture. It seems relevant. You have younger people around you, your crowd is usually kind of your age. And so, you're dropping a album or you're having a show, man, everybody comes out of the woodworks. They go out there anyways on the weekend. But, you get in your 40s or so, and like, all of people were having like, I don't know what we were doing. We're trying to keep our families together, change careers, midlife crises, all the stuff, the good stuff that goes on in 40s. And so trying to get something together became harder and harder. And I would drop an album, whereas when I was younger, I'd drop an album and it's all excitement. And it'd be like, crickets, click, click, click. And so I had to kind of come to terms with that in a way that doesn't just stop me, because I want to be creating music and art, and really it goes beyond just, I always think that art, like drawing and music and stuff, this is the popular version of creativity, but creativity is so much broader than that. I'll tell you just a quick story about my big brother, who's a businessman. And one time I went in his office, probably to borrow some money, I don't know, but I was in there and he was showing me this Excel sheet he had, and it was like this monster, and it was so big that it kept crashing his computer while he was showing it to me, because it was just intricate and just went on, 30 pages deep. And I realized, and it was the first time I really got this. I was like, wow, so he's a lot like me, because that's what I'm doing in the studio. And in fact, I have sessions that get so big that it crashes the machine, because I'm trying to solve problems with my imagination and my wits and my intuition. And that's what creativity is to me. And so I saw that moment that he's an artist in a whole different way than I am. He's got problems he's coming about, and he's, there's just, it's like for me, creating something is just all these little pieces on the ground, and my intuition, my inspiration, my wits, I have to come and like try to put it all together. And so that's no different than creating a business, creating a garden, all kinds of things. Creating a good family, a good relationship in your family takes a whole lot of your creative energy. So when I speak of it, it's not just art, but I learned a lot from creating music and stuff. But, so the thing is, a way to look at this when you get old, when I was getting older, was, do you want to create, let's use a garden. Like, do you want to create a garden so that you can put it on Instagram and get likes for it? Or do you want to create a garden so you can feed your family? Both of those have two different feelings associated with them at the end. One of them is very fleeting, and it's very dependent on how many likes you get, because you could put all this work and get all the lighting right and everything on your tomatoes, and then you post it. Nobody even notices it. You spend all this time talking about how you did it and nobody cares. But what if you did that? And, Instagram's maybe not. If there's time, just to snap a picture or whatever. But really what you were doing was creating it so you go put food on the table and y'all could have this delicious, homegrown dinner. It's a whole different thing. There's a whole weight and a richness to that that's not on the other side when you're making stuff for what you think other people will create, react to it. And so when I was younger, like it or not, I created for that because people could crush me. I would go on these shows or radio things or contests or get myself in with people in front of me, and the reaction meant a whole lot to me. I mean, it might stump me, for a month. If it's not good, it's just going to throw me completely off my path of creating. And so when I got older, that whole reaction thing is very different. And I still get great reactions sometimes, and sometimes I don't. And that just had to kind of go the way of the dodo. I had to mature into a new way of looking at it. And for me, it might come across as, I guess to some people, maybe it'll sound selfish, or self-centered. But this is what I came to with creating, is it has to be for me. I have to go in there, and when I'm drawing or I'm writing this book or I'm making an album, it's as if nobody is ever going to listen to it. Nobody's ever going to read it. And it's very possible that, not many will. Nobody's going to care about my artwork. So if I go into it like that, what am I going to create? I'm going to create something that I want in the world. And if I go into it where I'm thinking, I'm kind of testing it. Oh, do you like this kind of style? Oh, you like it when I braid my hair, or you don't like my beard? I'm going to go home and cut my braids off and trim my beard for you. And then what I'm putting out, let's not use that metaphor, but let's say music styles, and this song does great and this one doesn't, and this one's fast and this one's slow. And so I start making decisions. Oh, people like a beat and they like more faster songs. Suddenly what I'm doing is I'm creating things that are already out there in the world, and I'm not bringing something new to the world. And to me, it's beyond what I bring to the world, because that's like step 3. It's step 1 is, what am I bringing to myself? What am I bringing of myself to the page and to the music? And it's like this relationship that I can imagine. Now, I still have hopefully a lot of years left. I could have this and be fascinated with it for the rest of my life, whether people listen to it or not. I was driving home. This is our last little story I'll tell. I was driving home today to the forest, and I was listening to a book on writing. And like I said, I like to write novels, not to put out really. I just like to write them. And someday maybe I will. But I love writing. I love that. It's so exciting to get inside of a world and write books. And I've had this one novel that I've been sitting on for like 6 years, because I got it like halfway and I just couldn't break through to what was supposed to happen. And I've brought it back up many times. And on the way I was driving home. I was thinking about this thing, what we need to do. And then suddenly I was listening to this audiobook, and something that had nothing to do with really anything going on, except that I had re-energized that part of my brain of thinking of writing. I suddenly imagined what could happen next. I actually knew, I could feel what the next chapter had to be. And then I imagined where the characters need to be. And it was like exhilarating. It was so exhilarating. I was so excited. I wanted to come in here and start writing, but I had too much to do. But that's what I'm talking about. This creativity is a beautiful thing to give away, but what are you giving away? If it's something you think people will want, if that's even in the equation, you're not really giving anything that is not, 10 million of them already out there, But if you go into yourself, it's going to be unique. Every one of us has these very distinct, peculiar things about us. Like I love old movies from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. That comes into my writing. And then you add in other things that I'm interested in that other people aren't, and books that I read. What I create is going to be uniquely me, and it's going to be new. It's going to be a little bit different from what everybody's hearing, because so much of us are just focused on trying to please the audience. But I'll talk about that last, and I'm going to read a little story out of here. It's actually a poem out of here. So that side satisfies me. I feel like now, if as long as I stay in that state, and believe me, I'm human, I go back to wanting people to like stuff, and then, but I always remind myself, like when there's a disappointment, I just go, that's not what we're doing. It's part of what we're doing, because I think once you've created something, I kind of feel, and this is just personal, I feel like it's your duty to, every one of us has some kind of thing that we can do, whether it's talking, creating, drawing, running a business. I mean, it could just be one of 1,000 things, but each of us is kind of has an area where we're strong. I think it's kind of a duty to give that to the world, or try to. Now, if the other side of that is if they don't want it, oh well, I'm going to go back into that little world that I live in. When I was thinking of that novel today, and just enjoy creating something else. And so, in a way, it's a little bit for my health to create, and to create in that way. It's really bad for my health to create and hope and look at the outcome of what's going to happen with this. Oh, nobody's going to like it. It's on Spotify and they gave me 25 cents. You know, that's just going to kill me. I can't make it. I want to make it. I hope I live to 90, and I hope, I hope my kids are chasing me around in a diaper working on my latest album. I hope, well, let's take the diaper out of that. I don't want the whole diaper now that I imagine that. But I hope I'm an old man just going at it until I'm gone. And to do that, it's got to give me something. And then that's the last part. And then I can give it away. And then that's the part where I lose control of what's going to happen, whether people like it. I can't, it's not my job to make people like my music. I can't do that. So it's out of my power. I can just let it go. I can do what I can to do, like a little bird, like help it get out of the nest, like I'm doing right now for my album. I'm going to give it its due. We worked on it. My album's back there going, hey, please, Ezra. They're like little kids to me, like kind of put some energy into put me out there. But I got to remember that this is not what I'm doing. I'm not here to push albums and make a music career. I'm here to create. That's what I'm here in my life for. And I'm just going to end this with I might do a song. It's so hard to get to my chat from here. But if y'all hear this in the back room and you want a song, I can do it. I feel like I'm getting kind of long. But let's see. I'm going to just read a poem that has a lot to do. I dog-eared it just so for this reason. And where did it go? Where did it go? My wife just said, did you dog-ear it? Because she watches this and like sees me fumbling around. Oh no, that's not it. Okay. There it is. Okay. So put it in there if you do want a song. I'll play something. Otherwise, I know it's getting kind of long tonight. I'm just going to end with this little poem that I wrote about what I was just talking about. It's called A Record of Love. I'm new to this reading poetry thing. That's where the money is nowadays. So I'm going to quit using that joke. This is called A Record of Love. To put forth my heart, that is the good art. Goes forth each note analyzed for a pulse. Strings strung, the knobs on the old Tascam board. One take, one more, wait, now wires teased apart. For brass, French horn, a methodical chart. Empty coffee cups till harmony soars. Not too much plate, dial it up just a dose. The high frequency thin, the mids are tart. Pleasure is the tunnel of a focused mind. The little things no one else thinks about. I'll make it for you after I make it mine. Each tune is asking. Some whisper, some shout. I put forth my heart till the work can yield. A record of love within me sealed. That's what I think of making music right there. That's kind of what this book is. If y'all want to check this out, I'm trying to get stuff up. If you're a subscriber, I will have like books and records really soon for y'all, and then I'll hopefully get it out to the public real soon too. But I thank you so much for coming tonight. Um, oh, I'm not in the Hangout. This is very distracting. Maybe I should not do this. I was in the wrong room. There we go. I just wanted to see if anybody wanted me to stick around. Okay. Well, the video runs way behind. Let's go ahead and do it because I know I don't feel super prepared with this song. I've played it a few times just sitting right here. But this is from the album, and it's one of the downloads from today. It's called Wandering. I bought these things, these little beat boxes, one made by Korg in a Korg Vocola. And I had like this idea that I could get a melody looping that worked through the entire song with all the chord changes and everything. And it just added complexity as the song went. And so that's what this is. I'm going to try. I've never done this. So we're going to try to play it with this stuff. I know everything, or I know nothing. I'm growing up too soon, growing up too late, gonna bark at me. I could use a little moonlight. Well, I can never change, or I'm changing everything. Changing up my clothes, turning up my nose to the vogue of a flashlight. In the dark, I'll be walking. Oh, I'm wondering, back where I began, closer to the end. I am wondering, oh, I'm wondering, far away from home on an ancient road. I am wondering, I could use a little moonlight. Oh, this life is strange, like time in a microwave. We're all talking on our phones, feeling all alone in the glow of a good night. Scrolling away another night. Well, I'd trade anything I ever bought with money. For that night she took my hand, I'd put it in a can with the tea and the honey. What's the use of money when I'm wondering back where I began, further from the end. I am wondering, oh, I'm wondering, far away from home on an ancient road. I am wondering, oh, I'm wondering. Back where I began, closer to the end. I am wondering, oh, I'm wondering, far away from home on an ancient road. I'm wondering, and I could use a little moonlight.
me a little moonlight.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 5. We got 10 days. And so thank you for being here. Bye-bye.
Do you go back on there and answer anything?
I know everything, or I know nothing. I'm growing up too soon, growing up too late, gonna bark at the moon. I could use a little moonlight. I can never change, I'm changing everything. Changing up my clothes, turning up my nose to the vogue of a flashlight. In the dark I'll be walking. Oh, I'm wondering, back where I began, closer to the end. I am wondering, oh, I'm wondering, far away from home on an ancient road. I am wondering, Lord, I'm wondering. Oh, this life is strange, like time in a microwave. We're all talking on our phones, feeling all alone in the glow of a good life. Scrolling away the night. I'd trade anything, everybody with money. For that night she took my hand, I'd put it in a can with the tea and the honey. What's the use of money when I'm wondering, back where I began, closer to the end. I am wondering, Lord, I'm wondering, far away from home on an ancient road. I am wondering, I could use a little more.